The desert highway trembled under the sound of engines. Hundreds of motorcycles lined the cracked asphalt outside the small roadside diner, chrome gleaming under the burning afternoon sun. Leather vests, heavy boots, patches stitched with skulls, wings, and words most people only whispered. The Hells Angels had arrived. Locals knew what that meant. Windows stayed shut. Conversations stopped. Parents pulled children closer. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. Near the edge of the parking lot stood a little black girl, no older than 8. Her name was Naomi. She clutched a small handmade sign against her chest. Cardboard edges bent, letters written in bright marker. Please don't start your bikes yet. Her hands shook so badly the sign rattled. Behind her, her mother whispered urgently, Naomi, baby, let's go. This isn't safe. Naomi swallowed hard, eyes locked on the bikers. No, she whispered back. I have to. The engines rumbled louder, deep, and violent, vibrating through the ground and straight into her bones. One biker laughed as he revved his throttle, the sound ripping through the air like thunder. Naomi flinched. Tears welled in her eyes, but she didn't move. She took one small step forward. Please, she said, her voice barely louder than the engines. Don't start your bikes. A few bikers noticed her then. Hey, one muttered. What's the kid doing? Another snorted. Someone get her out of here. Naomi's legs felt like they might give out. Her heart pounded so hard it hurt. She raised the sign higher. My brother is sleeping, she cried, her voice cracking. He just had surgery. The noise makes his heart hurt. The engines kept growling. A biker leaned down toward her, helmet still on. Kid, you picked the wrong place. Naomi squeezed her eyes shut. I know you look scary, she said, voice trembling. But my grandma says loud people aren't always mean people. The parking lot went strangely quiet. One engine cut off, then another. A tall biker with a gray beard and weathered face removed his helmet. His eyes were sharp, but something flickered behind them. How old's your brother? He asked. Naomi opened her eyes slowly. 6. He has a machine helping him breathe. The biker looked around at the line of motorcycles. How long you need? He asked gruffly. Naomi blinked. Just 10 minutes? Please? A few bikers laughed nervously. You serious? Bear didn't answer them. He stepped forward, boots heavy against the pavement, and knelt so he was eye level with Naomi. What's his name? He asked. Eli, she whispered. Bear nodded once, then stood and turned to the group. Cut the engines, he said loudly. Some bikers stared at him in disbelief. Come on, man. Bear's voice dropped, calm but dangerous. I said cut 'em. One by one. Engines died. The roaring chaos melted into silence so complete it felt unreal. Naomi gasped softly. Bear raised a hand. No revving, no starting. 10 minutes. The Hells Angels men who had been feared across states in decades stood quietly beside their bikes. Cars passed on the highway. Wind brushed the desert sand. Naomi's knees buckled. Her mother rushed forward, catching her, sobbing, Oh my God. Bear looked down at Naomi again. You did good, kid. Naomi wiped her face. You're not mean. Bear almost smiled. 10 minutes passed. No engine started. Some bikers leaned against their bikes. Others removed helmets, staring at the horizon. One man quietly made a phone call and said, Yeah, we're delayed. When the time passed, Naomi stepped forward again. Okay, she said softly. You can start now. Thank you. Bear nodded. You tell Eli we were quiet. For him, I will, she promised. Bear paused, then reached into his vest and pulled out a small Passionate Club symbol. Just a plain metal angel. For bravery, he said, placing it gently in her hand. Naomi looked at it like it was treasure. As the engines finally roared back to life, something had changed. The noise no longer felt violent. It felt controlled. As the bikers rolled out, one by one, Bear was last. He stopped beside Naomi. World's loud, he said. Sometimes it takes courage to ask it to be quiet. Naomi nodded seriously. I was scared. Bear looked at her. So was I. That night, Eli slept peacefully, and the story spread of fear, not of danger, but of a trembling little girl whose courage silenced 100 roaring engines. The lesson traveled farther than the bikes ever did. Never underestimate the power of a gentle voice spoken with love. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, and the strongest hearts are the ones brave enough to listen.